Prime-time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Taking a look at local news, a group from Lloydminster is on their way to a Winnipeg landfill, joining what's being called the Pilgrimage of Hope for Reconciliation. They are adding their voices to calls to search the landfill for the remains of 2 Indigenous women.
Search the landfills!
Search the landfills!
No justice, no peace!
No justice, no peace!
This group, made up of people from across Alberta, made a stop in Lloydminster on their way to Winnipeg, raising awareness about missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, demanding the Manitoba government allow a search for the bodies of Indigenous women believed to be at a landfill north of Winnipeg.
Please do the right thing. It's never too late to do the right thing. And we implore you, please, if you don't want to unearth our sacred women, then at least let our First Nations do it.
And that's why we're all here. We're all here to give hope and to support and to keep those that have been lost in our hearts.
Organizer Judith Gale is marching with her daughter's red graduation dress. She carries it in memory of her sister Laurel, who was murdered at 15 and never graduated. Gale puts on Red Dress Day walks in Edmonton each May and says she didn't feel right putting the dresses away this year.
Stolen sister!
No more stolen sister!
They kept crying to me, why are we going away when our sisters haven't been unearthed yet?
Citing safety concerns, Manitoba's government is standing firm on their original decision to not allow a search. This group says they'll continue marching, hoping more will stand shoulder to shoulder with them to understand their pain. And it looks like people here in Lloydminster are going to have to find ways to stay cool this weekend as well, hey?
I know. It's we are going to have, I wouldn't say scorchers. We are kind of sitting at those mid-20s expected for the long weekend, which is always nice. But of course, if you are going to be spending a lot of time outside, you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite hot. It'll catch up to you if you're not being careful.
Air conditioning units here still may be getting a workout this weekend, though.
Of course, I think you should definitely still abuse those AC.
If you have them, you might as well use them,
it.
right?
But also, use it smartly in a way,
Yeah.
I guess. Like, use it in a smart way. Make sure you're not wasting too much, using it when you really need to. Because, there are people out there that don't actually have AC, which is such a shame.
Yeah, it's definitely hard when you're going through even more south than here. There's warmer temperatures as well, so it's hard to be going through those hot temperatures with no air conditioning.
Yeah, exactly. But as we look a little bit more into what we are sitting at today here in the border city, of course, as I was saying, we are looking at those mid-20s kind of continue on as we kind of head off into our long weekend here. So we are just sitting at 23 degrees. So we almost are hitting those mid-20s. We kind of have cooled down slightly just by a couple of digits there from what we have been seeing for the past few days this week. But we are seeing a mixture of some sun and cloud and seeing a lot more sun peeking behind those clouds through the day today. So hopefully everybody is enjoying their Friday. It's nice to see that we finally made it, and it's just in time for the long weekend. We should have some beautiful temperatures as we go through it. Switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, most spots are just sitting around 22 to 23 degrees, so kind of following suit with us here in the border city. Some are looking slightly warmer as we go a bit lower to Wainwright and Provost, now just at 24 degrees, and then up in Cold Lake they are seeing the coolest condition just at 21, but we all are kind of matching at this point. Switching over to our Saskatchewan side, they are kind of matching with us on our Alberta side as we go a bit higher up, as they are for the most part sitting at 21 to 22 degrees. But then as we go a bit lower, they start to warm up from there and even seeing past those mid-20s. Looking at 20 degrees now in Meadow Lake. While we go a bit lower, we are looking at 25 down in Macklin and over in North Battleford, and there in Maidstone just at 26. So seeing some beautiful conditions on our Saskatchewan side. North Battleford will be going down to a low of 9 for their evening low temperatures. So they are expecting that single digit for tonight. They are expecting more of a clear and calm night. They aren't going to be seeing a high chance of precipitation, unfortunately. We always would like to get a little bit more moisture and, of course, that rainfall to kind of help balance out these dry heat conditions. Then for their Saturday, North Battleford will be looking at a daytime high of 26 degrees. So kind of matching with what they are sitting at today and expecting a mostly sunny day. So be prepared. You do have a slight scorcher coming tomorrow for North Battleford, so make sure you got that water and sunscreen ready. Cold Lake will be looking at those double digits for tonight with a low of 10. So they will be seeing a warm night for tonight, expecting a mainly clear and calm night. No high chance of rainfall. And then for their Saturday, they will be looking at a daytime high of 25. So those mid-20 temperatures will continue on for Cold Lake tomorrow as they kind of head off into the long weekend. So a beautiful Saturday expected. For us here in the border city, we will be expecting a low of 11. So we are seeing a nice temperature for our evening tonight, expecting a clear and calm night as we head off into our Saturday. We won't be seeing a high chance of precipitation, unfortunately. I know we all would like to get that. Then for our Saturday, as we kind of start off this weekend officially, we will be looking at 25. So another beautiful day expected. So make sure you got some nice plans outside with your friends and family. Make sure to enjoy it, but also, like I always say, stay hydrated and use that sunscreen. And ending off the look at some of your weather photo submissions, I want to say thank you again to everybody that submitted to our Facebook page so far for the week. Got some good shots here to end it off. From Kendra, love to see it. I love that everybody's got those outdoor activities they love to enjoy. Medicine Hat here, beautiful shot from Amanda, thank you. Another one here from the moon, oh, love to see it, right? Jace, this is a nice one. This is a nice one, I really like to see it. Thank you for this one. And this is the last one here from Michelle. Gorgeous shot, love to see the colors in the sky. That's all I have for now for first look at your weather forecast.
Keep those photos coming, everyone. We'd love to see them all. After the break, though, we'll have a look at today's business news. The CPCA is in Poundmaker for their second last stop before the CPCA finals here in Lloydminster. Here's Thomas Wildman with more.
I'm once again joined by the Vice President of the CPCA, Greg Buchanan. He is here today to talk to us about the CPCA action that will be taking place at the Poundmaker Cree Nation this weekend. And so thank you so much for being with me today, Greg.
Thanks for having me on tonight, Thomas.
All right, Greg, so let's start with the action that took place last weekend at Frog Lake. Talk to me about those races and the shakeup in the standings that took place because of them.
A shake-up, a hometown guy by the name of Preston Faithful ends up winning that dash. Luke Tournier was lights out for most of that show. Won the aggregate, just didn't come through in the dash. So a bit of a shake-up. Preston Faithful was knocking on the door for that top four, but quickly that changes. Even after the first night in Poundmaker, he's no longer on that knocking on the door for the fourth spot. He slipped a little bit in the standing. So everything can kind of change on a given night, and it has even here in Poundmaker. But again, a pretty solid show for Preston Faithful on his hometown track to win the Dash for Cash. And he's been in that Dash for Cash in the past. This time he finally wins it.
And so looking at the standings now, Logan Gorst is leading in first place. Then we've got Luke Tournier, who's had a really good run in July, moving up into second place. Danny Ringette takes the third place, and they've all got quite a lead on the guys below them. And so they're in those coveted top three, and the top four spots is what all the drivers are looking to have. Is there any importance to being in the top higher spots of the top four, or are guys just looking to be in those top four placings?
You want to be in that Final Four, no doubt about it. At the same time, more than anything, you have 5 days here in Poundmaker, 3 days in Little Pine, and keep in mind there's 4 days at the new Lloydminster Nissan CPCA Finals, and those 4 days will determine who will be the Final Four for that championship dash on Championship Sunday in Lloydminster. So you want to be at least close to where you want to be. If you're outside the top four, you got to be within distance of about 4 days of racing to move up the Final Four spot. So tonight here in Poundmaker, as well as throughout the Poundmaker show in Little Pine, really sets you up for that big show in Lloydminster.
And so it's a very close race for that coveted Final Four spot. DJ King only has a half-point lead over Dallas Dick for the top spot right now. So tell me how important these races are to grab every single point that they can get in order to have that coveted Final Four spot, as well as just how important those final few races will be at the CPCA Finals.
So a couple of things come into play. You want to be fast, but more than anything, you got to be clean. They always say if you're consistent and you're clean, the fast thing will take care of itself. So more than anything, you got to stay away from the penalties. penalties can be very, can kind of, what do you in the standings. So for DJ King, solid run for him last night, wins the day money. That is what he needs to do. At the same time, it's interesting because the drivers that he is competing for to get in that Final Four spot are in the same heat with him. So he doesn't have to look too far on the track to see if Dallas Stick is right there. So that is the interesting thing. And you never want to think that drivers are kind of looking over, whoever's coming off out of their barrel and how they're turning and how quick they are popping out of the infield. Then all of a sudden, if you take your eye off your outfit and you're looking at somebody else's, bad things can happen.
And so now let's talk about the first 2 days at Poundmaker finally. DJ King won the day money yesterday. Logan Gorst won the day money on the first day. Talk to me about how well those guys have been doing so far in the races, and any other guys that are really looking good right now on Poundmaker.
For Logan Gorse, he wins the day money on on Wednesday. DJ King wins it on Thursday, and Logan Gorse was second fastest on Thursday. So he's been knocking the door for a day money win. And not that far behind Logan Gorse, on the track at least, was Luke Tournier. Luke Tournier, though, takes a penalty on Wednesday. Luke Tournier takes a penalty on Thursday. So Luke Tournier, who has been tearing it up in the month of July, again, go back to that part where you want to stay away from penalties. And it's, Luke Tournier's had a couple of penalties, which is rare for him in the month of July. But you know what? That's a great thing at chuckwagon racing. You have to have a short memory because you're back at it again here tonight.
Thank you so much for all the information, Greg, and we will definitely be talking to you again as it's the final stretch of the CPCA season, and it's going to be a really fun one as we lead up to the new Lloydminster Nissan Finals here in Lloydminster.
Thanks a lot, Thomas.
And now it's time for us to check in once again with Shelby Clark, who has another look at your evening weather forecast.
Thanks so much again there, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, now taking an extended look at your weather forecast. We'll be starting off with our central zone of the provinces. We are still sitting at those mid-20s for most of our areas on our Alberta side. Some are looking slightly cooler, just sitting at around 22, 23, and then we have the rest that are getting even up to 26, especially over in Jasper. Looking at 24 now in Edmonton, while it is now 20 degrees up in Cold Lake, so some are still looking slightly cooler, but at least we are sitting past that 20-degree mark as we were kind of cooling down in some of these areas to those teen temperatures yesterday. Going over to our Saskatchewan side, they are still seeing nicer conditions than what we have been seeing on our Alberta side, especially down in Saskatoon. They are just now sitting at 27 degrees, and they were hitting that 30-degree mark earlier on. 24, 25 for North Battleford and Melfort, while Prince Albert is just hitting 23 degrees, and Meadow Lake is matching with Cold Lake there, now just at 20. But now as we go over to our northern zone, they are still kind of matching with those same conditions that they have been seeing for the past few days. Uranium City has now finally warmed up past that 20-degree mark, as they were sitting at those teen temperatures between 17 to 19 degrees, usually on a daily basis that they have been seeing throughout the week. Now they're just sitting at 22 with most of these other areas. Down in Flin Flon, they continue to see the warmest condition on our in our northern zone on our Saskatchewan side with 24 degrees, and then Wollaston Lake and Stony Rapids are looking a lot cooler today, now just sitting at 17 and 18. And going back over to our Alberta side here in our northern zone, they have warmed up slightly just by a few degrees, especially with Grand Prairie and High Level now just sitting at 25, so they are seeing those mid-20 temperatures. Looking at 22 for Slave Lake and Peace River, and then we have Fort McMurray and Fort Chipewyan looking slightly cooler, just at 19 and just reaching 20. And now going over to our southern zone, of course, they are still seeing slightly warmer conditions than what we are seeing in our central and our northern zone. Medicine Hat continues to see closer to that 30-degree mark. They are just now sitting at 29. We have 26 in Lethbridge, and Lethbridge has cooled down just by a few degrees there from what they have been seeing throughout the week. They have been seeing closer to that 30-degree mark as well. Then we have 25 there in Calgary, while Banff is just underneath it, and Coronation is looking the coolest on our Alberta side here. And going back over to our Saskatchewan side, they have cooled down finally. They have been seeing that extreme heat warning throughout the week. So serious temperatures, serious scorchers they have been seeing throughout the week. They were sitting past that 30-degree mark in all of their areas here. And they were seeing even closer to that 36, 37 some of these spots, especially in Moose Jaw. Right now they are just sitting at 29 in Moose Jaw. I know it's not showing there. 27, 28 with Swift Current and Regina. So they are still seeing that heat warning in place, as they are still sitting slightly closer to that 30-degree mark, but at least they aren't seeing those mid-30s, so that's a plus side right there. Yorkton is also sitting at just 28 degrees, and then we have Estevan and Kindersley looking slightly cooler compared to the rest, just at 25 and 26. But now as we look at some overnight evening lows in our surrounding area, what we can expect for tonight as we head off into our long weekend. We are going to be seeing these double digits continue on for our evening low temperatures. Isla Crosse continues to see the warmest condition for the evening with a low of 13 expected tonight, and the rest are expecting that low of 10 to 11 degrees. So we are expecting a warm evening in all these spots and not a high chance of precipitation. They all are expecting mainly a clear and calm night, unfortunately, because of course we all would like to get a little bit more rainfall to kind of help balance out this dry heat conditions. And looking at our hourly forecast for our Saturday here in the border city, as we start off our nice weekend, we will be kind of continuing on with those mid-20 temperatures that we were speaking about before. For our mid-afternoon daytime high, we will be reaching around 24 to 25, and we won't be seeing it cool down by too much because we will be seeing that temperature continue on into our Sunday. So we are expecting a beautiful weekend. Please make sure you got some nice plans out there. Maybe go camping, drink lots of water, and use that sunscreen. That's most important. We will be cooling down slightly as we head into next week, as we end off the weekend on Monday at 22 and 23 next Tuesday, but hopefully we will be seeing that precipitation for next Wednesday and Thursday to kind of give us a little bit more moisture, some wet conditions compared, and then we will start to warm it back up next Friday. And that's all I have for now. RJ Smacky, we'll have more news coming up after the break.
I'm very happy to be joined here today by Deanna Wandler. She's a committee member for the Lori Craven Memorial Ball Tournament, which is coming up in just a couple of weeks. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Of course. Now, the Lori Craven Memorial Ball Tournament has been going on for years. So tell me a little bit about the tournament and, what brings people in every single year.
You betcha. Yeah, this is going to be our 22nd year of the tournament. It was all started 22 years ago for a lady by the name of Lori Craven, who actually was diagnosed with cancer. And the tournament was put on by some friends of hers to raise some money for her to go to treatment, to Seattle for some treatment. And unfortunately, Lori did not make it. And the tournament raised some money, which was in turn donated to families in need in our community. And it just continued on as a memorial tournament every year. It grows and grows each year. And we have 32 teams now that come out, some out of town. And, it's a repeat. They come and play ball every year in this tournament. And it's, we even have a waiting list of teams to get into it. So it's definitely made its mark in Lloydminster in our community. And in 22 years, we've been able to give back $1.2 million to families for financial assistance with their medical issues. So
that is incredible. When I was reading up on it and I was talking to people that know about it and participated in, it's amazing and incredible that you're able to raise so much money every year specifically for families who do rely on, the hospitals and need those special treatments, whether it's for their family members or their children or anything. I think it's incredible that we have this tournament and it's been going on for so long. Have you seen in maybe even just the past couple of years how it's grown to the 22nd anniversary?
Absolutely, it's growing. What I notice is a lot of the youth, like myself, I played ball in it for a lot of years, and my kids have grown up at the Diamonds. I see a lot of us parents with younger kids and older kids, and they're doing things all year long to raise money, and they donated it next, for that weekend, whether it's selling lemonade in the summer or making bracelets, or I just love to see the growth and how the youth is catching on to the importance and the why we host a tournament.
That's awesome. And also it gets kids outside too,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
enjoy the sun, and hopefully on the days that the weather does hold up and, it's a great couple
Oh
days.
yeah, we've had a few years where it's been rainy, but people still gather and they play games under the tent, and they're all out there for the same reason. That's to have some fun and support the cause.
Which is
So
amazing.
yeah.
Now, there are some people who shave their hair as well. Tell me a little bit about how that works, and the people that do come out to shave off their hair for the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. The hair shaving, sometimes it's they take us by surprise. We do have one gentleman that I know of, Richard Newby, who is raising money and has grown his hair out for the tournament, and he will do it at noon on the Sunday where we break and have a little memorial gathering and do all these live auction hair cutting things. And so they come out and he'll shave his head, and then you never know, some people might just get the courage up during that moment and realize that maybe they would like to participate by doing it. So you never know what's going to happen that afternoon. And it's just one aspect of the tournament that makes it so interesting and so rewarding to be there.
Yes, that sounds amazing. And it's all for a good cause, which just makes it more important. And you see just how tight knit this community is, considering how long this tournament has been going on. It just keeps on getting bigger and more support, which is it's incredible to see, and not at all surprising for the city of Lloydminster. Definitely not. And I think that's incredible. Now, this is taking place on August 19th and 20th. Just run through the days of what people should know, what the times that they should show up, the activities that are going on, and where it's being located.
Well, if you're not playing ball, obviously, if you're playing ball, we're going to have the schedule out. The game starts Saturday morning as early as 8 a.m. at the Driven Legion Ballpark, just east of town. If you're not playing ball, you can come out all weekend long. There is a big tent full of prizes, silent auction. There's a barbecue. There's beer gardens. There's going to be a watermelon eating contest. Anything. There's so much for all ages. And Sunday is the day, then at noon is where we break for an hour or so, and we do, like I said, the memorial or the hair cutting, the live auction. So if you really want to take in and feel what this tournament's all about, Sunday at noon would be a day when you can come. And even though you can't, there's people that maybe can't get their team in, or they want to support it, buying a burger, buying a beer, buying a pop. There's breakfast sandwiches, bidding on the silent auction, buying tickets. That all helps. So you can help in many ways if you can't play in the tournament. There's a home run derby. We're going to have the DJ out there, I believe, again, and just pump up a little bit in the beer gardens. And you can sit, and it's all, like I said, it's all ages. There's kids running around and catching balls and putting their little prize tickets in for their prize that they want to win. It truly is an amazing time. So
yes, and there seems to be something for everyone to enjoy. Not necessarily, if you're, like you said, if you're not able to actually play, there's still a ton of other ways that you can give back, but while also still having a blast doing the different activities and just hanging out. So thank you so much for joining me today. I think this is a wonderful tournament, and the fact that it's been going on for so long is even that more impressive. So I wish you luck for August 19th and 20th, and hopefully this year's tournament is the biggest one yet.
Oh, I hope so too, and I appreciate your time.
I'm Abby St. John, filling in for Heather Clagus, and this week's What's Happening. Coming up on August 5th, it's Aqua Days at Kininsu Beach in Cold Lake. It's from 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. and free admission for all. Enjoy a full day of adventure wrangler dinosaur shows, slip and slides, and paddle boats. At 1 p.m. there will be cardboard boat races, and to cap it all off at 10 p.m. is a fireworks show. For more information, contact Cold Lake Energy Center at 639-6400. And on August 6th, it is the Sandy Beach Summer Market. It is their final summer market of the season with well over 50 vendors and 6 entertainers. Home Hardware is once again supplying the $500 gift card door prize. 50/50 is also having a starting payout of $750 with both being drawn at 4 p.m. The Kids Zone will also have the Remax Craft Tent and the Tent Guys Bounce House. The Gold Horse Casino entertainment stage opens up at 11 a.m. Come out and enjoy the final Sandy Beach Summer Market. And finally, coming up on Monday, August 7th, is Heritage Days here at Weaver Heritage Park. Enjoy a free pancake breakfast from 8:30 a.m. till 10 a.m. Gluten-free options are available. And then from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m., enjoy a ton of free family activities, including block party games, candle making, carnival games, and so much more, including live music from the Prairie Dogs. Also, make sure to stick around for the Hot Doggers shows at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Also included is an antique tractor parade at 2 p.m. I'm Abby St. John, and that's what's happening.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
Thank you to everybody for joining us today for this week's entertainment panel. We are here in the lovely studio starting it off. Love the lighting and all that. Yeah, we're looking good. But we're going to be speaking about, starting off some of the reviews and ratings of what we spoke about last week, and that is the Haunted Mansion. So it's kind of a little bit of a flip-flop. We have, especially the critic ratings, not the best at all. But then you look at the audience rating, way high up there. So I feel like it's still something that's worth kind of going to check out.
I would agree with you, because I think the audience rating is so much more important, because you know, especially for this type of movie, it's definitely for the audience. It's not for critics. It's not for any awards.
It's not Oscar-worthy.
It's not Oscar-worthy. And that's the point. You know, it's this family remake of a really great movie back in the early 2000s, but with their own spin on. So yeah, there's 39 critic rating, but don't really care about the critic rating. 84 audience rating. So you know that audiences are really liking this movie, and the consensus from audiences, a Haunted Mansion is a fun blend of horror and comedy with a great cast and a story that will be extra entertaining for fans of the ride that inspired it. So again, this movie is for the fans. It's based on a very popular ride at Disney. So of course the critics aren't going to like it. It's not for the critics. The critics go on and say the Haunted Mansion's talented cast makes a pleasant enough destination, although it's neither scary nor funny enough to wholeheartedly recommend. I would recommend. I haven't seen it yet, but just by looking at how audiences are reacting, I think it's worth it.
And scary enough? I mean, what are we talking about here? What do you expect?
It's a Disney movie.
Yeah, this isn't a full horror movie, so I don't know why you want to say scary enough.
I don't think it's supposed to traumatize us. It's made by Disney, and you know, it's supposed to be for the whole family. I don't know what you want it to be, like The Conjuring.
I know, that's what I was thinking too.
You're not
this isn't The Conjuring, this isn't Insidious.
This isn't Annabelle, like.
No, it's still a good recommendation, so it's good to see that we at least got a higher audience rating for that one. But we do have some more that's going to be coming out this weekend, and it's going to be good. Hopefully everybody is already checking out some of the movies that came out, because I'm pretty sure one came out earlier this week as well. So please make sure to go check out our local May Cinema 6, but we will toss it to us at the local May Cinema 6 as we talk about what's playing this weekend. And boom, we are here back at our local May Cinema 6 in a new spot here.
We're in actually Theater 6.
Yeah.
So it works out perfectly. But yes, we're in a different setting, different theater. I think switching it up.
Exactly. And we got some good ones coming out this weekend. You know, last weekend we only had that one that was coming out there, but we still had some good stuff that was coming through our local theater. So hopefully everybody had time to check out everything that we've kind of been speaking about. But for this weekend, we got a few, we got one coming out, and then we have one that was even coming out earlier on.
Yes, that's already out.
Yep.
It's been out since Wednesday. Very exciting. But they are also two very, very different movies.
Yeah, kind of a switch up.
Very much a switch up. So start us off, Shelby.
Yeah, so the one that came out on Wednesday, and this is for all the fans out there. This is kind of another remake, you know, coming out, and this is for a whole family. And we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. So hopefully everybody already kind of took some time and went and checked it out already. But that one came out on Wednesday, and this one looks very good because it's got a cool animation style. And they were saying that for their animation style, they kind of wanted to have it almost look like doodles that a teenager would have in their class notebook.
Which I think is perfect. And you know, Seth Rogen, he was the executive producer on it. And I think a lot of people are very excited for the fact that the Mutant Ninja Turtles are actually voiced by kids. But it also has a star-studded cast surrounding the kids. Seth Rogen obviously is one of them. Jackie Chan is in it, John Cena, Paul Rudd, Giancarlo Esposito, Maya Rudolph, Ice Cube, Post Malone is even a voice in it.
The way that they're bringing this new one into theaters and having like that cool animation style and whatnot, they have their own little spin on it. And with having, like you were saying, the young voice actors actually voice them, you can totally tell when it is, of course. You know, you don't have a deep man voice or whatever that's like, we're in junior high or something like that, you know? So it kind of works out really well. And I think a lot of people are going to be excited for this one. And hopefully, you know, people here in the border city, you've already had time to go check it out, but you haven't. You still got time. It's still playing. But one that we have coming out tonight and this weekend. So this hasn't come out yet, like, you know, what we were saying with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Wednesday. This one's coming out this weekend, and complete switch up. This one is not, I wouldn't say it's kind of a recommendation for the whole family. I would say maybe, but it's kind of terrifying. But we got Meg to the Trench. But, you know, this one has classic Jason Statham, and for this one, he's actually putting together a team to kind of explore the deep depths of the ocean, which I don't know why you would even want to do that, but that's how it is.
Won't be my thing, but you know, it's perfect timing because, you know, Shark Week is a huge thing in the summer and a lot of people love Shark Week. So I think this is perfect time to have this Meg to the Trench come out. And Jason Statham, it's great to check this one out. Obviously, sometimes sequels are very hit or miss.
Yeah, so we shall see.
But I am hoping that this movie does well for all those shark fans out there and those who are fans of, you know, the series of Jaws and then Meg and coming out and stuff. Who knows if the Meg is the only thing that they're going to see. It'll be interesting to see, and I'm excited to see how fans react to it and how it does in the box office.
Well, yeah, and I think they were even warning that, you know, the creatures that they find in the second one apparently are even bigger than Meg in the first one. I said, how is that even possible? That cannot be possible.
That can't be possible.
Well, to me, and I think with the fact that Jason Statham is putting together a team and they're like, we got to go back in.
I can't see all of them coming out alive in the end. We'll see.
We shall see, but hopefully everybody can take time and, you know, either check out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for some fun and check out Meg too for
some nightmares.
Yeah, some trauma.
For trauma.
Exactly. So that's all the time we have for this week's entertainment panel. So thank you to everybody once again for joining us here at your local May Cinema 6.
And now, Shelby, it's time for us to end the show with some news. It's kind of a little sad for me. I don't want to be talking about this, but...
Poor Jace. It's okay.
Some Edmonton Elks fans were upset with their team's 21-game losing streak at home, and they wore paper bags over their heads in protest. But security at Commonwealth Stadium ruled that move offside.
I'm like, for what reason? And he says, security asked me to have you leave the premises. He's like, if we don't like your white shoes or the way you're dressed, the premises has the ability to kick you out for no reason.
So there he was. Cameron Jones says that he was booted from Saturday's game as the Elks took on the BC Lions. Obviously, they lost. The team says they're reviewing security footage, but Jones says he has his paper bag ready for when Edmonton takes on Winnipeg on Thursday. And just a little newsy note to that, too, Trey Ford is going to be the starting quarterback. So Canadian there starting for Edmonton.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I really hope they can break that streak. I always feel so sad whenever I see Jace after a loss, but hopefully it'll come soon.
What can you do? Not
Yeah.
everything. You can't always be in a great stage.
Exactly.
But what can you do? That's all the time we have for this edition of Primetime Local News. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back here on Tuesday.